Imagine you are the manager of the Central Bank of Iraq. It's 4 a.m. You're exhausted, and the sky over your city is glowing with distant explosions. You know something terrible is coming. Then you hear frantic pounding on the heavy iron doors. When you open them, you see Qusay, the president's son. He isn't there for a meeting. He's there to empty the building. He hands you a small scrap of paper, a note from his father. You don't need to read it to understand the message. If you say no, you won't live to see the sunrise. So you unlock the vaults. For the next 2 hours, you watch your staff, men you've worked beside for decades, strain under the weight of metal boxes filled with cash. You hear the dull thud of crates hitting the floors of 3 dirty trucks. With every box that leaves the building, something inside you sinks. As the trucks drive away into the darkness, you realize you didn't just witness a withdrawal. You watched your country's future being carried off into the night. 3 weeks later, a young American soldier stands in the dust of Baghdad. He's 22 years old, far from home, tired in a way sleep can't fix. Back home, a good paycheck meant $500 a week. Out here, his days blur together under the sun. He hasn't had a proper shower in a month. He's assigned to guard a dark opening in a basement wall. When he steps inside and sweeps his flashlight across the room, the beam catches on stacks of cash piled higher than his chest. Not just money, but possibilities. He sees his mother's mortgage disappearing. He sees the truck he's always wanted. He sees a future where he never has to worry again. The air smells like old paper and ink. The plastic wrap around one bundle cracks open on its own. A single bill slides onto the floor, then another. He tells himself there must be millions here, that no one even knows how much is missing. Who would notice one stack? His chest feels hot. He doesn't think of himself as a thief. He thinks of himself as a broke kid who finally has a chance. He slips a bundle into his cargo pocket. It feels heavier than his rifle. After that, nothing feels normal. The money doesn't feel like a prize. It feels like a shadow that follows him everywhere. He can't sleep. Every time an officer walks by, his heart jumps into his throat. He hides the cash in a hollowed-out radio, then digs a small hole under his cot, then sews it into the lining of his vest. He starts watching the people around him. Another soldier suddenly has a new watch. A lieutenant starts paying cash for expensive gear. Slowly, he realizes he isn't alone. Everyone is carrying something. The unit stops feeling like a team. It becomes a room full of secrets. No one trusts anyone. Everyone is waiting for the moment someone talks. When the missing billions make the news, we see charts and numbers on screens. We hear politicians argue. But the real story doesn't live on paper. It lives in the bank manager who fled his home and now sleeps in different places, afraid that one day someone will come looking for what he couldn't protect. It lives in soldiers who made it back home with money they can't spend, because guilt sits in their chest and federal agents sit at their door. That money never rebuilt schools. It never fixed the power grid. It sat in backpacks, in hidden pockets, in holes dug into the ground, slowly rotting. We call it a heist. But for the people who lived it, it felt like a curse. It was the moment they learned that even $1 billion can't buy a clean conscience.